Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. It's a gorgeous day in Seattle. I will admit that. It is not cloudy today. So I'm embracing that and hope to get outside in a little while. And anyway, I wanted to go live today on Friday. And I've been really thinking again about what I can bring forth into the world and the community and trying to brainstorm uh, ways that I can maybe help everybody, all of us, think about what our talents are, what are our individual talents that we can gift to our communities. The reality is, and I'm not going to paint over this, this is a very hard time. It's a very hard time that has tested us. Having a pandemic, having political strife. I mean, it has tested me beyond measure, and my ability to, it's tested so much of my beliefs, so much of everything. It's tested me and, what I do as a career, all of those things. And so today I thought, I know that everybody has a talent, a skill, an expertise, even though you may look at it as small or insignificant, possibly during these times. But honestly, it's like, when I watch inspiring videos and things like that that help support me, I'm like, wow, what if we all really looked at what we have in our pocket of experience that we can move forward with to help others? And so what's always a challenge for me too is I am what's called an integrative nutrition health coach. And so everything that I look at is beyond food and exercise. And that's where my mind can sometimes be like, oh my gosh, there's so much that, we have involved in our lives. And so again, this list of how we live, where we live, the status of these areas I'm going to talk about affect us in so many ways that I wanted to show again. It's called the Life Radar, and what the Life Radar has in the areas, when you want to look at your life, see if you have an expertise or a little tidbit in one of these areas that you can post for, even if it's not something you do for a job, but you have expertise in. So part of a healthy life is a healthy community, right? And what can we all do? So one area that me and my clients look at, especially when they get started and then in the middle of our program and things like that, is we look at all these areas. So I'm going to list them out. And as I list them out, what do you know? What do you think you could even do a Facebook Live about? What, I know it gets scary. I can't believe I'm doing these now. Actually get nervous. I'm a little nervous now, but what can you do when I list these items off that you might be able to bring forward to not only your community geographically, but your community on social media that can help somebody? So one area of, a healthy life is our finances, right? So if you are someone that's gone through either something very challenging with your finances, and through that you learned a way to make it through in the past, is there something you can bring forward today that can help those that are struggling so horribly right now, that are, trying to survive in this environment? Is there some way? What did you do? What was your mindset? How did you get through it? That type of thing I'm thinking of. Is there anything you can think about that you have expertise in finances, that maybe you could write a little post about, or a blog, because there's so many in need in that area. Another part that we look at, as integrative nutrition health coaches, are, home cooking. Right now we don't really get to go to restaurants. We're especially in our area, but a lot of people have, cooking used to not even be something I liked to do. I didn't want to do it. And So if you have any types of tips or anything that you learned through being at home and having to figure out how to cook and possibly did you go from eating out of boxes and processed foods to figuring out how to make something? It may seem trivial and small, but you know what? I know it can help somebody. And these are things too that I know I, as a coach, could be out making videos about more. Areas I'm challenged in is the technology stuff and doing the videos and things like that. It can be overwhelming, but maybe you've created your own recipe or something. And again, looking at things is not too small to share right now. Another aspect as an integrative coach I look at with people is their home environment. So we're all packed in. Some of us are at home with all the kids and everything like that. If you are home with your kids trying to homeschool, trying to do your job, have you figured out anything that's been helpful? Have you had some things that's just been crazy and you want to talk about? There are more of you out there and you know it. And if you can offer anything, even though it seems small to you, it can be really big for somebody else. How are you getting through the days? That kind of a thing. Physical activity. I'm a personal trainer, and we all know we want to be better at physical activity. But again, nothing's too small. Even if you are not a trainer, even if it's not your expertise, but you figured out something during this time that helps you to get out and move, helps you. That was a aha that got you moving. Even like I said, it could be so little in terms of what you think is small, but is actually very significant to others. So do you have a tidbit you can share to the community and your help and out to the community? Also, health, of course, right? Health is so important. And, that's my area of expertise is health and physical fitness. But again, everybody's journey is so different. So if you're having success with something, if you're feeling like you have figured something out in terms of your health, and you can share that experience that will help somebody else right now. Think about how can you bring that forward into the world. If you were pre-diabetic or had a chronic illness you were working with, and you were able to recover and reverse that, share it with the community. And if you had COVID and you were able to recover from that, what did you do? Were you sleeping a lot? All those types of things I just think would be helpful. Another area of everyone's lives that is so important is spirituality. We are getting tested. Our spirituality is getting tested right now. And what do you do to help keep yourself rooted? What do you do in terms of your spirituality that helps you through really tough times? Do you practice meditation? Do you pray? What is it that you do? And maybe even the things that you might be praying about. Is that something that you could share? And in that sharing, help so many people in need right now. So again, we may not feel like we have any impact sometimes. We may feel we have no purpose, but I think what we need to realize is we really do, And so if you have a spirituality practice that you find is rooting you, and again, helping you to stay centered as best as you can, gosh, please definitely share it. Another aspect, again, on my life radar as an integrative coach, is that we look at relationships. So relationships are so important. And got, now we are very isolated. We're missing human contact. Um, and and also we're in areas where we're, a whole big family that is all together a lot with no distance time to be alone. So if you are having if you've discovered something, even like for me, I work from home now. I'm very isolated. I do care for my mother twice a week. I help go and my sister go there. She's 89 years old. And so I have to stay very isolated so that I can help my mom, who's 89. And I'm here. And so really my main social life is this. So it does get lonely, right? So, how can we help each other realize, even I guess if we all talk about it together, can we help our relationships? Can we help others in these similar situations? Maybe in relationships, you have a spouse that's on the front line and that's making it very hard for them, and they're tired and exhausted, and you're trying to support this person. So I think knowing that relationships, again, are so important to us, and all of them are being tested under these environments that we're in. So if you have any tips on how things are going, how you're making it through stuff like that, see if you can, get that out on your pages and supporting everybody, because we're all struggling in some fashion. This one's fun too, and some people may think of it not as being very important, but a real big part of our lives is creativity. And everyone determines what creativity is to them. They may assume creativity just means, it's usually people, when I talk to them, they think it's about painting or art, and they feel like that is creativity. But actually creativity is what is very, how do I want to say it, individual. So creativity is like, well, what do you know? How are you creative at a craft? It could be a craft. It could be creativity in, again, handling the challenging times. What have you become creative with, and maybe budgeting, and how have you been creative at coming over some obstacles? So if you have something like that as a tip that you can share to the to the world, that would be wonderful. I may have skipped over this one. I think I did. Home environment. That's a very important part of our healthy life and part of our lives. So at home, again, I maybe I did talk about this, but what can you offer somebody? Maybe it's to help, streamline something at home, help people declutter, help people with making a supportive home environment. Anything, again, like I said, that you have been able to overcome, and share that, and put that out into the world. And the next thing on the life radar is social life. So I think if I had anybody doing the life radar right now and they had to mark social life, it would be really low. So I think we're all struggling and looking to be together socially, and to be able to have that camaraderie and that community and social. But again, put out into the world, how have you handled some of those cases where you were successful at creating some social time for yourself, for your friends, where you were, still able to have a really good time, and still be mindful of caring for everybody's health and things like that. So again, I think those are tidbits that maybe we don't think to share, that can actually give someone another idea of how maybe they can be with friends and family, and hadn't thought of it before. So you may think that they've already been talked about. All of this has already been talked about, but doesn't mean that everybody has seen it. And then sometimes too, and I think everyone can attest to this, is that you may hear something from somebody and then all of a sudden it takes one other person to say the same thing, that your mind all of a sudden clicks in and says, oh yeah, and so, putting things out there, what are your ideas on how we can help with our social lives and how we can stay connected that way? Another thing that I look at on the life radar is career. That's a deep, deep topic right now, career. So many people have lost their jobs. So many people have been put on standby. Some people have had to close their businesses. Again, if you have any experience having gone through something like this before, say the housing crisis in the past, and you were able to rebuild your company, rebuild your career, anything like that, could you think about using that time to share that story? Because a lot of people are going to need that. A lot of people are really needing that right now. So, for me in 2008, I lost my job due to the housing crisis. I didn't handle it well at all. No, Tracy back then did not handle it very well at all. And so I'll challenge myself to talk more about that in hopes that I can help others make it through what's happening to them today. And so, but yeah, if you have a story, again, of where you've rebuilt, you have made it through something with your career, a job loss, loss of a business, and have switched things around, people really need to hear what you have to say and your knowledge today. And then last but not least on the life radar that I have is education. And, so right now I know a lot of people are having to rethink things, maybe go out and get new careers, get new education. Again, if you're someone that had to pivot, you've got that experience of changing careers, but needing to get different education for it. If you're someone that basically needs, are looking to change career, you may feel a bit lost on how to do that, or even if you have the potential, depending on your age, to change careers. If someone out there has done that before, and again, I know in 2008, the housing crisis, a lot of that was going on and changing of careers. So again, if you have the experience that you can share on how you did it and your input on how to do it, or if that's your industry and you are a career expert, is there a way that you can really put that out there? And so, yeah, today I really wanted to talk about, all those aspects of our lives that are all integrated, and again, it's finances, cooking, home environment, physical activity, your health, joy. I may have missed that one too. I don't rehearse any of these. So anyway, bear with me. But did I talk about joy? If you are an expert, or if you have found joy and you have ways of finding joy, can you put that out into the world? Can you emulate or discuss maybe how you went from feeling low and through dire straits to finding joy? Because joy is, again, so impactful to who we are as a human being and how we relate into our communities. And community, like I said, is part of my life radar that we look at. And all of this is intertwined. And so, again, from all of these things, I'm going to read them again. Community, finances, home cooking, home environment, physical activity, health, joy, spirituality, relationships, creativity, social life, career, and education. So what I was hoping to do today, again, because I'm I'm trying to think of like, what can I do best? What can I do to serve under the circumstances of today's environment? And so I thought maybe if we all thought about what our talents are, what our abilities are, be it even that's not the career we're in, but we're really good at something, how can we use that? How can we use that to bring forth help into our physical community? If you're able to go volunteer somewhere, can you take that knowledge there? It's a little harder nowadays to be able to do that. So how can we use our platforms, our social media platforms, to bring our expertise forward and, in all of these areas to help other people? And so anyway, that was what I wanted to talk about today. And I really appreciate you watching the video and being here. And if you have something you would like to share on how you made it through something and you want to put it in the comments, that would be wonderful as well. But again, let's go ahead. Let's be collective. And no tip is too small. No desire to help is too small. Because I think as a collective group of people, we can really, really make a difference for each other. So, okay, I'm done for today. And so I wish everyone a wonderful weekend. And I'll be challenging myself to keep showing up as best I can. I'm not perfect by any means, but I commit to doing my very best. And then I'm hoping, I would love to see other people share what they can with the community, because I sure am open to learning new things and learning new tips, because I sure need them as well. Okay, have a great weekend, and I'll talk to everyone soon. Bye-bye.